my YouTube channel. This is Soham Spur here, and today we're going to be looking at my week 3 battle of the season 4 of PSL against Aero. Now, for those of you who don't know, Aero is a really good friend of mine in real life, and in fact, he's the one who introduced me to competitive battling. So that's something that makes him a bit of a threat for me because even though he hasn't started the season particularly well, like he lost both of his first two matches, but still he knows very well how I play. So that's something I have to keep in mind while prepping for his team. And yeah, let us look at the said team first. So he has a team of Tyranitar, Superior, Florges, Mienshao, The Blade, Magmortar, Mega Blastoise, Zapdos, Uxie, Zygarde, and Ambipom. From an offensive point of view, something like a Scarf Titar or a Scarf Florges, to some extent Scarf Mienshao, Z Solar Beam Magmortar. These could be some big threats for my team. Choice Banded Zygarde 10 I wasn't worried about as much because I have that Serena, and Serena can mostly switch into a Zygarde 10, and that's that. There's also the Superior because Superior can just spam Leaf Storm against me, and whatever resists Leaf Storm, like my Kyurem Black and my Infernape, they don't like to get paralyzed, and Superior can just paralyze them with Glaive. So that's something. From a defensive point of view, he could bring Doublade as a one-time switch in to my QM Black because it takes both of its stabs, and even though I have Earth Power, if he invests heavily in his special defense, he can take one Earth Power. So that's something to keep in mind. Also, I think he's going to bring Mega Blastoise because Mega Blastoise, for the better part, deals with Infernape quite well unless I'm bringing a Gigavolt Havoc or a Bloom Doom set. There's also this Uxie, which in the past has proven to be a nuisance for me in draft format because I just can't seem to break past it. Now, these are some of the things that I kept in mind while building the team. And so, yeah, let's have a look at the six mods that I'm bringing. Okay, so this week I'm bringing my Skarmory, which is an Okaberry set with standard physically defensive Skarmory. It has 242 HP, 236 defense. I put some attack. The 16 attack EVs guarantee me that I am going to always two-hit KO Serperior, which is quite nice. And yeah, so I have Stealth Rock on it and Roost and Brave Bird. Now the Toxic is there to catch something like Zapdos on the switch in, or if he leads off with his Uxie, I can Toxic the Uxie turn 1 and make life much easier for me as I go along. The Okaberry is there because Skarmory is also going to be my Leaf Storm switch in because yeah, if you look at the rest of my team, yeah, none of them really like coming into a Leaf Storm. So this thing is going to come in on Leaf Storm, and it can easily take a +2 HP fire with the help of this Okaberry, and I can hit it back with Brave Bird. So that's what this set is meant for. It's meant to get up rocks, poison Uxie and Zapdos, and take on the Superior. Now, up next, I have my keeper, Tapu Fini, which is going to be a Choice Scarf set this time. And the reason I'm running Choice Scarf is that because if you look at his team, his like the way he plays, like how I have seen him play so far, he usually relies on the Zygarde, the Mienshao, and the Tyranitar to finish off matches in the end game. Although they haven't really worked out for him in the first two games, but both of them were pretty close. So I think he's going to try to do something again, something like that again. So I decided to bring a Scarf Tapu Fini because Scarf Tapu Fini will easily outspeed a Scarf Tyranitar, and at the same time it will outspeed non-Scarf Zygarde and non-Scarf Mienshao. I honestly don't think he's going to bring Scarf Zygarde, doesn't really make much sense for him. Scarf Mienshao is a likely bring, but then again Scarf Mienshao will be locked into one move, and that's something that Tapu Fini can take advantage of. Anyway, so it has the Nature's Madness to just to catch something on the switch early in the game, just to keep chipping away. Taunt is there to prevent Zapdos from going for Roost, to prevent Uxie from I don't know from doing a Memento on me, or to like prevent something like I don't know what am I saying at this point. Yeah, it's basically there to set up his to prevent his bulkier mons from setting up, like I don't really think if I'm being able to express myself. Okay, I'll try it like this. Let's say he has something like let's say a Doublade. Now if I'm locked into Moonblast, he can go for a Swords Dance. Now he can try to predict that and come in on me once he has realized that I'm Scarf, and he can try to set up on me. So if I can see a situation that like that likely to happen, I will not go for a moon blast or any other attacking move with that matter. I will just go for the taunt and shut down something like a double blade, or maybe an Uxie if he's trying to go for memento into one of his offensive mons like a Dragon Dance Tyranitar or Dragon Dance Zygarde 10, or maybe even his Florges if he decides to bring a Carmine variant for some reason, maybe even a Magmortar, because I'm not running Surf on this set, as you might see. So a Magmortar with a belly drum, yeah, I'm actually a bit worried about belly drum Magmortar because I've discussed that set with him a few times before, and I have a feeling that he might bring it against me. So yeah, anyway, yeah, those are some things that it could be good for, as well as preventing Zapdos from going for Roost in the late game, which might be crucial, as you'll see a bit later. Anyway, it has, other than that, it has Ice Beam and Moonblast. Moonblast is the main stab move, which is what I'm going to use most of the time. Ice Beam is just there for the Zapdos mainly. The Zapdos and what's the other one? Yeah, the Serperior. Those are the two mons that I have Ice Beam for. And yeah, so it's max speed, max special attack with a modest nature. I need the modest nature for the added power because Feeney's special attack on its own isn't really anything to write home about. So I needed that extra power from the modest nature, so that's why I'm running it. Yep. Next we have my Carl Kyurem Black, which is where is it? Yeah, which is running Ice Beam, Fusion Bolt, Earth Power, and Iron Head, and it's holding Assault Vest. Again, this is another mon that is meant to switch into the Serperior because it can take a hit, and even if I get glared back, I am not really too bothered because this is not supposed to be a fast wall breaking set, more of a bulky wall breaking set, as you see in the spread right now. So it's running a spread of okay, yeah, I think you can watch it this way anyway. Yeah, it's running 44 HP. Yeah, so it started with 96 speed EVs with a timid nature, so that allows me to outspeed max speed Florges. Now it has max special attack to do as much damage as possible with Earth Power and Ice Beam to mons like the Tyranitar, the Doublade, and Serperior and Zapdos. It's also running 116 attack with the timid nature. Now the reason I'm running timid nature instead of something like hasty or naive nature is because it's meant to be a bulky set. So I don't really want it to take more damage than necessary on either of the defensive sides. And the thing about Kyurem Black is its base attack set is so high. It's base 170. So the thing is that even after I'm running timid nature, it has a higher base attack than max attack invested Victini. Now that is really wonderful for me because I can easily afford to go timid nature, and then I have invested this 116 attack EVs just so I can guarantee 2-hit KO Mega Blastoise with Fusion Bolt. And I think it also has a high chance to 2-hit KO Tyranitar as well, unless it's running a super bulky set. Physically bulky set, I mean. AV sets get 2-hit KO'd. Yep. Ironhead with this investment also guaranteed 2-hit KOs of max defense Florges. So that's something worth noting. And the remaining points I've just put into HP to just take hits as well as I can. Now, next up I have my Lantern. Now, the thing about Lantern is it's mainly there for the Magmortar on my opponent's team. Because, as I said, Bloom Doom Magmortar is going to blow away my Feeney. And he's not really going to bring Gigavolt Havoc because of this Lantern, but Bloom Doom is going to blow away a Lantern anyway. So that's why I'm running Assault Vest. Assault Vest with 248 HP and 28 special defense always guaranteed lives what's it called? A timid Bloom Doom after Stealth Rocks, and I think even modest Bloom Doom after Stealth Rocks is roll in my favor. So that is something that I wanted to do here. As far as moves, it's pretty standard stuff here. Scar for the burns, Volt Switch for momentum, Ice Beam for the Zygarde 10 and the Zapdos and Serperior, and Discharge just for paralysis and another stab move. Nothing fancy. Oh yeah, one more thing worth noting is this defense investment, 232 defense with the bold nature. It's there in case I get into a situation where I have to get rid of his his Zygarde 10 in the late game. Now if he's running a banded Zygarde 10, he is not going to be able to OHKO me with 1000 arrows from full, never, unless he crits me. Like the max it does with this spread is, I think it's pretty close to full, I think it's 98% or something like 98 or 99. Yeah, it's something like that. But unless he crits me and I'm fully healthy, he is not going to be able to kill me. So yeah, that's that. So basically, this lantern is there for surviving 1,000 arrows from bandit Zygarde in the late game and cleaning it. But that is not really its main purpose. Its main purpose is to just 1v1 the Magmortar that my opponent can bring. Okay. Next up, we have my main Zygarde 10 switch in, and it's not only my Zygarde 10 switch in, it's also going to be my Tyranitar switch in the late game, and that is my Serena. It's just running the same set it's been running all season so far. Rocky Helmet, Queenly Majesty, Dropkick, Synthesis, U-Turn, Rapid Spin. The 36 speed EVs is for guaranteed speed creeping, zero speed floor jets. Actually, not zero speed floor jets, but more like floor jets with minimum amount of speed to prevent speed creeping. But yeah, I think 36 speed EVs is enough to guarantee the creep on floor jets. So it has Dropkick for its main stab move, Synthesis for recovery, U-turn for momentum, Rapid Spin for getting rid of the hazards. Now the final mod on my team is Infernape, which is it's a pretty standard SD Flare Blades Mark Punch close combat set. Now if I get Swords Dance up with Life Up, close combat guaranteed Oko's max HP Mega Blastoise after rocks. Also, Flare Blitz does a huge amount of damage to Uxie at that point, and it also, I think, Oko's, yeah, it does Oko Zapdos after Stealth Rocks. So those are some of the things, and Mark Punch is there to like revenge kill stuff like I don't know, like Bandit Zygarde 10 locked into 1,000 arrows, or maybe Dragon Dance Tyranitar, and yeah, just in general stuff like that. It also deals, +2 Mark Punch with Life Orb also deals with Superior quite well, which was something that I was afraid of because I'll get the Mark Punch off before he can paralyze me, so that's something worth noting. So yeah, with that being said, let us slowly move on to the battle. Alright, so I lead off with my Skarmory, he leads off with his Uxie. Now my plan was here to just get the rocks up, but the moment I saw Uxie, I was like, forget about rocks, let's just toxic this thing, let's put it on a timer and then take the game ahead from there. So that's what I do. I go for my toxic. Unfortunately, he clicked Thunder Wave first, which paralyzes my Skarmory. I mean, it's not really the biggest of problems because not like Skarmory is going to be a speedy threat to his opponent, to his team anyway. It's just there mainly, as I said earlier, is there for toxicing the Uxie and Zapdos and taking and getting the Stealth Rocks on his side. Yeah. And as you can see right now, he did not even bring his Zapdos, so that is one less job for it to do. Now I've gotten the toxic off on Uxie. Now it's my turn to get up rocks. That's what I do. I go for rocks on this turn. He goes for the knockoff, gets rid of my Occa Berry, which is not much of a problem, saying that he did not bring the Serperium. I go for rocks, but I get paralyzed. So yeah, it's unfortunate. But anyway, I still have a free turn to get up rocks, and he can go out into his Magmortar or his what's it called? His Mega Blastoise right now. But I don't really care about that. He can go out into whatever he wants. I just want my rocks up. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. He's going to go for the U-turn, and as revealed, he's going to go out into his Magmortar, and I get fully paralyzed again. Now this was annoying because I really needed my rocks up to chip down stuff like the Uxie and the Mega Blastoise for the late game. If I don't get rocks up, there's a high chance that those things are going to live at something like 5 or 10 HP from a +2 Infernape, and those things can kill me back in turn. So that's not something that I wanted at all. So anyway, while it sucked, he brought in his Magmortar, and there is no point in staying on in Magmortar. I go out into my Lantern as he misses Fire Blast, and as you will find out in a few moments, this Fire Blast miss turned out to be huge, because what happens next is that he goes for the Flame Charge. He gets his speed up. I don't really have a problem with that until I realize that at this point, if he has the Bloom Doom and he is a modest variant, there is a high chance that he can take me out right now. So actually not really a high chance. Yeah, it's not a high chance at all. What am I saying? It was about 30% chance right now. Yeah. If he was modest, he could take me out with Bloom Doom, and after that my team is kind of looking shaky against it. Infernape takes a lot from Thunderbolt. Feeny will definitely die to Thunderbolt, and I can't kill it in turn with Feeny. That's a big problem. If he has Focus Blast dealt with my Kyurem Black, and even if he did not have Focus Blast, Fire Blast did a lot to Kyurem Black. Serena just outright died at that point. So I was just praying and hoping right now that he is not a modest variant, as he does pop the Bloom Doom. And luckily for me, it looks like he's a timid variant, which allows me to live that hit and kill him back with Scald. And this is big for me because Magmortar, as I said earlier, it was going to be a problem for my team. The fact that I dealt with it this early was big for me. Now, okay, and yeah, this is where that Fire Blast miss came into play as well, because Fire Blast would have done, yeah, I lived with 11% HP, it would have done something around 15 to 20. So the fact that he missed Fire Blast definitely more than made up for the earlier paralysis on the Skarmory. Anyway, so it dies, he goes out into his Mienshao. I realize that there's no point in taking chip damage on anything else, especially when my Lantern's job in this match is fulfilled, because it was there just for that Magmortar. And now that Magmortar is down, I can afford to let my Mienshao go, not my Mienshao, my Lantern go down as well. So it's okay, I let him U-turn out, and he U-turns back out into this Uxie. So okay, I see him go out into Uxie, and I see this as another opportunity for my Skarmory to get up the Stealth Rocks, which I so badly want in this match. Now, I go out into my Skarmory. As he goes for the U-turn again, I know his most likely switch in here is either going to be a Banded Zygarde 10, for which I have Serena, or is going to be that Mega Blastoise, for which I have my Tapu Fini. Now he goes out into his Mega Blastoise, I go for my Stealth Rocks, and again I get paralyzed. This is getting annoying right now because I really need to get the rocks up, because as you can see that Uxie is coming in and it's just immediately going for U-turn. So as a result, I'm not really getting any toxic damage off on that Uxie, and that is annoying for me. But at this time, I cannot really stay in on his Mega Blastoise. Knowing Aero, he's definitely running offensive Mega Blastoise. There's no point in even testing it. So I immediately switch out into my Tapu Fini, because even though it's not running any defensive investment, it should be able to take a hit. And it does take a hit, but that hit actually is a critical hit. So it takes 30% from that Aura Sphere. Now, I do not really like this, because first thing first, that Mega Blastoise is at full health right now. So if he wants, he can try to 1v1 this Tapu Fini completely, because even if I hit him with Moonblast, and unless I'm a Specs Moonblast, I'm not really going to 2-hit KO him. And even then, if he's running max HP, I don't really think Specs Moonblast is going to 2-hit KO him at that point. So he can try to stay in and wear down this Tapu Fini. And while even though that will weaken his Mega Blasters to a large extent, I think he can get rid of Fini at this point. But yeah, from his point of view though, saving Blastoise made a lot of sense, because I still had that Infernape in the back, and Mega Blastoise could definitely chew up a close combat from Infernape, and it could guaranteed kill it back with Scald or Hydro Pump or whatever it is that he was running. Anyway, so I go out into my Tapu Fini. I realize that I do not want to play that 1v1 game against Blastoise, because I just have because I can only hit him back with a Moonblast, and Moonblast is not even close to a 2-hit KO with a Choice Scarf on. So I did not want to lose any more health on my Tapu Fini, so I went back into my Skarmory. There was one more thing at this point, because this is where knowing Aero as a player really helped me out, because I know how Aero plays. So Aero was not really going to stay in there on Tapu Fini and try to chip it down on its own. He was most likely going to go back into his Uxie and pivot on out from there. So I kind of predict that, and I go back into Skarmory to give it one more chance to get Stealth Rocks up. And yeah, that's what happens. He goes out into Uxie, I get my Skarmory in, and now I know this thing is again going to just go for a U-turn. And this time I predict the switch into the Mega Blastoise, and I throw off a Toxic, and I throw, no, not this turn, I throw off a Toxic later. So yeah, this time I again go for Stealth Rocks, and I again get paralyzed, and this was agonizing right now, because once again my only switch into this Mega Blastoise is going to be my Tapu Fini. And Fini is going to get, Fini is just getting horribly chipped down at this point, because this thing is meant to be my endgame cleaner, but it's already lost more than half of its health, and I was worried right now. So I decided, like, alright, let's just screw it, let's forget about rocks, let's just attack what's in front here. So I throw up a Moonblast, and it does quite a bit, considering it's a Uxie that's taking the hit. 30% is decent chip on Uxie. Plus, the fact that he'll have to stay in on the next turn also means that he will rack up some toxic damage, which is really good for me. Now at this point, since the Uxie had revealed knockoff earlier in the game, I did not want to get my Feeny knocked off because I needed that choice scarf to clean up in the late game. So I go back out into my Skarmory because I knew there was nothing he could do to my Skarmory at this point unless he was running Thunderbolt. He did not. He just went for Thunder Wave. Now I knew at this point every time that this Uxie has been in on my Skarmory, it has just gone out for U-turn. So I knew he was going to U-turn out into the Mega Blastoise again. So I predict that and I throw off a Toxic. So he goes out into his Mega Blastoise and thankfully this time the Skarmory does not get paralyzed. It throws off that Toxic. Toxic catches the Mega Blastoise on the switch and there we go. The Mega Blastoise is on a timer as well. Now Skarmory has Toxic 2 of his more bulky mons. So I decided like, alright, yeah, let's just try to get Stealth Rocks up right now because whatever attack he goes for here, it's not supposed to one-hit KO me. So I decided, alright, let's just sack the Skarmory here, but let's just get my rocks up. He goes for the Aura Sphere and thankfully I move with the Skarmory again. Skarmory gets up Stealth Rocks and it dies to Scald on the next turn. Now I go out into Kyurem Black because since it's an AV set, I can easily take an Aura Sphere and at the same time I can directly kill him back with Fusion Bolt or put him in range of toxic damage. So that's what I do. I go for the Fusion Bolt. It takes 56%, which tells me he's most probably max HP variant. And yeah, he hits me back with Aura Sphere, which I take decently well considering it's a max special attack Mega Launcher boosted Aura Sphere from a Mega Blastoise. And yeah, my Kyurem Black's Solvence really came in to help here. But not very much because he goes out to his Mienshao immediately and just throws off a high jump kick. Now at this point I could have gone out into my Tapu Fini, but again, if this is a Reckless variant, it was going to do a lot to my Tapu Fini and I did not have, like if it was Reckless Choice Scarf, it was just going to 2-hit KO my Tapu Fini at this point and I did not want that to happen. So I just stay in with my Kyurem because I knew that the remaining mons at this point on my team, they could deal with whatever was left in his team. So I decided to let it go down, but what he reveals here is huge. He reveals that he is Life Orb. So this means he cannot outspeed my Tapu Fini. Now I go out into my Tapu Fini knowing fully well that I can revenge kill with Moonblast, and that's what I do. I go out into Fini, I fire off a Moonblast. He sacks Uxie, which is beautiful for me because this thing is an absolute nuisance to deal with in draft format. It just doesn't seem to die. The fact that he let it go and the fact that he went out into Mienshao again after that, because what I think was he did not expect the Choice Scarf here. So the fact that he went out into Mienshao meant he most probably had Poison Jab, and Life of Poison Jab, yeah, it was likely to kill Tapu Fini from this point because it did not really have any defensive investment whatsoever. So yeah, he throws off his Poison Jab, but since I'm Scarf, I go first, I hit him with a Moonblast and I kill him. Now he goes out into his Tyranitar, and okay, knowing Aero, he loves to run weakness policy a lot on his mons. And if I go for a Moonblast here, that could possibly trigger his weakness policy, not kill him, and allow him to get up a Rock Polish at the same time. And that could potentially be disastrous for my team because he can just kill Serena if I go out into Serena after that. Or he can just kill the Fini on the next turn, and even if I go out into Infernape and kill him back with Mach Punch, Outrage spam from Zygarde has a decent chance of cleaning up in the late game after that. So I did not want any of that to happen. So even if he's a Rock Polish set, a Bandit set, I don't know what set this is, I just go out into my Serena at this point. So I go out into Serena, he throws off a Rock Slide instead of a Stone Edge. So that was a bit weird. If it was Stone Edge, he would have 2-hit KO'd me here, but yeah, I'm not going to be the one to complain. He throws a Rock Slide and it was Life Orb as well, which told me he was most probably a Rock Polish or a Dragon Dance variant. Anyway, so I take the hit with my Serena. Serena also loses some health from the sand. It turns out that he was a Dragon Dance set, but thankfully I'm carrying Prop Kick, which brings him down to his base speed instead of raised speed. And yeah, he goes for another Rock Slide, hopes for the flinch, does not get the flinch, and I can just U-turn out from there, kill him with the with the U-turn, and yeah, now it's going to be a 1v1 between my Tapu Fini and his Zygarde 10. And knowing from the calcs, I knew that unless he was running Adamant Choice Band Zygarde 10, he has no chance of killing my Fini here unless he crits, because Jolly Choice Band Extreme Speed did maximum 40%. So I knew I was going to live this, so I stay in, I go for my Moonblast, let him attack me with the Extreme Speed, I survive that, go for the Moonblast, pick up the kill, and that is a nice 3-0 win over Aero Zeppelin in the week 3 of our PSL battle. So yeah, good game to my opponent, and I hope you all enjoyed this match. If you did, press thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. You know the usual drill, the stuff that we have to do. Anyway, yeah, goodbye for now, folks, and we'll see you again for the week 4 battle. Bye.